Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie. Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi. Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie. Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington. Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson. Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson. Christopher Conley as Norman Harrington.
Stella Chernak and Rodney Harrington were both born and raised in Peyton Place. Now their lives have come together, and each is the destiny of the other.
Why? You leave me alone. I don't understand you. You took an oath, but you lied.
You're making a big mistake coming after me like
How
this.
did it help you to lie? Did it bring your brother back?
You get away from me, Rodney. We're not in court. I don't have to answer your questions. I don't have to talk to you at all.
Oh, yes, you do.
Listen to me. I put my hand on the Bible, and I swore to tell the truth, so help me God. And so help me God, I told the truth.
That day at your house, you invited me in. Now, why?
You came to the house to see my brother.
He wasn't there. I was about to take off. You invited me in. Why?
I thought Joey might be in trouble.
Yeah, you thought Joey might be in trouble, and you wanted to find out all about it.
I wanted to help my brother. Not in the way that you helped your brother.
Right, so I told you they got into a fight, and you said, well, maybe next time Norman might come out on top. And I said...
You said maybe there won't be a next time.
That's right, there won't be. I wasn't threatening him. It wasn't a threat. I was going to try and talk to Joey, settle it that way by talking, and you know that's what I meant.
Listen to me, Rodney. I'm one of those people who can remember my childhood almost back to the cradle. I remember a Sunday, my father took me to the ice rink. And he got into a fight with one of the guys at the mill. And he said to me, run behind the ticket office and wait for me there. I can remember it because it was also my 3rd birthday. I can prove that on the stand. I can prove my memory. It happened the way I said it happened.
I've never met anybody like you. I don't know how to deal with you.
Why don't you try throwing something over my head? Anything. A rock, a stick, a gaping hook.
Hi, Rod.
Was it like this when you met Joe at the wharf?
Hello, Rod. Hi, Miss Chernak. Well, you been up to see Allison?
No.
Well, Golden Boy has lost his cool, hasn't he?
Stella.
I'm getting a little tired of parking lot socials.
Well, it can wait.
It's been a long day. I'll see you, Mr. Carson.
Ship-to-shore operator, please.
One moment, please. Marine operator, may I help you?
Hello. I would like XL 4327.
Is that double X?
No. XL 4... never mind, operator. Cancel the call, please.
Thank you. doctor's hospital?
Extension 162.
I'll connect you.
Russ Gearing speaking.
Russ?
Marion,
Yes.
you sound upset.
Could you meet me?
In the therapy room?
No, not there. How about the playground?
In about a half an hour?
All right.
I'll wait for you.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mrs. Jack stated she was positive that Stella Chernock at no time mentioned Rodney Harrington's name on the night of her brother's death. Additional impressions, : Conclusion. It would appear from Mrs. Jack's statements that Stella Chernock's testimony is in the nature of a calculated lie, rather than a confusion in her mind, and was formulated well after the fact. It would also appear...
May I come in? Your secretary.
It doesn't work Saturdays. Come in.
Thank you. But I suppose you know that Ted Dow's resigned from the case.
Yes.
Obviously, there's a gap that has to be filled at once.
Please sit down.
Thank you. Frankly, I'm of two minds. I was very impressed with the way you handled the proceedings at the hearing, and I appreciate the thoroughness with which you're handling this. But I hope you'll realize my position. I want to be perfectly sure that Rodney's getting the best defense that can be bought.
I understand.
I've got to consider bringing in a well-seasoned criminal lawyer. Now, I hope you won't take that as any judgment of what you've done.
Not at all. I knew it was something you wanted to consider. Maybe this will help. Those are the names and capsule biographies of three of the most highly regarded criminal lawyers on the East Coast. They're all first rate. Ashley is the most celebrated, of course, but I think Foster would be your man. He handled a case similar to this just 2 years ago in Connecticut. I got hold of the transcript when I was with Wainwright and Kennerly. He was brilliant.
What about this Farrell?
Well, he's quite a bit younger than the others, but he's already got an extremely good reputation. He's tried 9 murder cases, 6 acquittals, and none received a death penalty.
I see. Well, thank you, Stephen.
You couldn't go wrong with any one of them. But before you make a decision, I want very much to handle this case. I know you're concerned about my lack of experience. I believe I can offset that. 1, what happened on the wharf was not a product of that night. It was the result of emotional friction that's been brewing for a long time. I think I'm closer to that friction than any other attorney you could get. I've known these people involved all my life. They're not just names on paper to me. 2, you said yourself that a big city prominent lawyer could be rescinded. 3, in this particular case, I've got more to gain than any other member of the bar. I'm not saying those 3 men wouldn't fight hard, but I've got a big edge and incentive. 4, the first move of any outside lawyer accepting this case would be to move for a postponement. And it would only be fair to give it to him in view of the amount of preparing he'd have to do.
You mean it could drag on for months?
Exactly. In some cases, that wouldn't be so significant, but given the amount of pressure Rodney's already under, especially with Allison, well, it could be pretty rough on him.
Well, I hadn't thought about that.
I wanted to point it out. But I don't want you to feel that I won't do my best to serve anyone else you might want to take over.
Thank you, Stephen. I'll let you know what I decide. Oh, Rod.
Oh, hello, Dad. Excuse me for interrupting, but I had to see you, Stephen. I just talked to Stella Chernock. I'm really worried.
You what?
Look, I had to talk to her, and I did, so don't get upset about it.
Well, why?
Because I'm the one she lied about, that's why. I followed her to the hospital parking lot. Stephen, she looked me right in the eye, and she said I threatened to kill her brother. She believes it.
Of course she did. Rod, what did I tell you to do?
You told me to leave everything to you, but this isn't happening to you. She's convinced herself. She actually believes I said that.
Sit down.
Nobody's going to be able to change her story.
Leave. Sit down. Do you know what could happen if Fowler finds out about this? They could reopen the matter of bail. Now, maybe that's not a bad idea. Maybe they should lock you in the tightest cell in Peyton County.
You know, that's just the kind of understanding I expected from you.
I know it's been tough on you, but it could be a lot tougher. Now, you've got people rooting for you. Don't alienate them. The next time you feel like shaking the truth out of Stella, call me. I'll come over and I'll sit with you till the feeling passes.
And when I want to take a swing at you, who do I call?
Same number. But I might not answer. Did anyone see you?
Elliot Carson.
Carson. No one else?
Nobody.
Think you knew what you're up to?
Why would he? Yes, I think he did.
I guess so, too. He's an observant man, and I gather you weren't being too subtle. Did Carson say anything to you?
I didn't give him the chance. I wasn't much in the mood to discuss
Your behavior? Well, what did you do? Walk away, leave the field to Stella? Well, I hope you were lucky.
Lucky?
If there had to be a witness, let's just hope it's a friendly one.
Stephen's right, Ron. You took a very foolish risk.
Stay cool in the future, huh?
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Stephen? I don't think I'm going to need this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you've got a lot of work to do. Come on, son, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. No, when I go to sea, I go as a simple sailor, right before the mast. Plumb down to the forecastle or aloft there to the royal masthead. What of it if some old hunks of a sea captain orders me to get a broom and sweep down the decks? What does that indignity amount to? Weighed, I mean, in the scales of the New Testament. You think the Archangel Gabriel thinks anything the less of me? Because I promptly and respectfully obey that old hunks in that particular instance? I have the satisfaction of knowing that it's all right. That everybody else is, in one way or another, it's pretty much the same way. Either in a physical or a metaphysical point of view. And so the universal thump is passed round. And all hands should rub each other's shoulder blades and be content.
Well, look who's here.
Hi.
I suppose you had to bring him.
In case we're seen.
I hate this kind of thing.
Think I like it? Using one of my kids as a front? Something happened?
No, I couldn't be alone.
You've got a husband.
He went away for the weekend on a sailing trip. I was supposed to go with him, but I told him I had a cold. Two people alone, a boat together. I was afraid I'd tell him everything.
Would you, Marion? Would you tell him that you were the driver that hit Allison McKenzie? Would you tell him where you were coming from? You read Allison's poem. Be my compass, tell my course. Will I anchor here forever? Or will I finally sail forth? And what will be the weather? What mate will chart the seas for me? Or harbor in my hand? Or will I tack and sail alone until I find my land? A human being is forced to choose. A monument is not.
Well, how you doing?
Well, it's like going to the attic. I keep getting waylaid by old memories.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Mr. Carson, how are you?
Oh, Stephen, I never felt better. I never felt better.
Well, Connie wanted me to one to tell you, and I thought it would make a better present that way.
You know, after all she's been through, I've never seen her look more beautiful.
Thank you.
Does anybody else know about this?
No, you're the first one, except for Mike Rossi, of course.
Oh, good, good. Hey, look here. Pretty fancy, huh? Photograph album. Got it at the drugstore. And I ordered one of those new cameras. You should see it. It's got more G-jaws on it than a walrus has whiskers.
I just hope for your sake the baby's photogenic.
I hope for his sake I'll learn how to use the blame thing. Oh, speaking of photographs, here's something that ought to interest you.
Right, what is it?
I got it out of an old album now. Look at it close.
It's just 3 little boys.
Yep, all alike. Your great uncles.
Triplets? You mean to tell me that there's a history of multiple births in our family?
Well, I don't know if you'd call it history or not. It's only happened 4 or 5 times.
Oh. Well, that's a heck of a skeleton to be pulling out of the closet right now. I didn't even know I had any great uncles.
Well, maybe they're your great uncles.
What's that they're holding on to? Aunt Sarah's biscuits, 3 times as tasty. And I was about ready to raise the price of the newspaper just to pay for those groceries.
I gotta get going. I want to buy some flowers for Constance.
Ah, you don't have to do that. She knows how you feel, Dad.
Nobody knows how I feel. I'll see you tonight. So long, young man.
Goodbye, Mr. Carson. Is he always that lively?
Yeah, he just got some good news, though. Wow. How about some fresh coffee, Stephen?
Oh, fine. Stella told me she had a scholarship, but I can't find any mention of it. Or even of her college acceptance. Did Matt Swain keep any other records of high school announcements, student achievements?
Sure. He's got volumes of them over here.
Mind if I look at them?
Well, certainly not. Let's see. What year do you want?
10, 12 years back. Gone are the days.
Huh. You and Stella go to school at the same time?
Oh, she was a couple of years ahead of me. I moved away, lost track of her. I want to fill in the gap. Oh, here's something. Stella Chernak, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Gustav Chernak, has been named as a finalist in the region's statewide essay competition. Ms. Chernak's topic is what a college education means to me. I remember something about that. It was just before I left. Some teacher accused her of plagiarizing part of her essay. She denied it, but she resigned the competition. I'd forgotten all about that. She wanted that prize a lot. It's her first chance for the limelight. I wonder
if she cheated?
And if she's still looking for that moment on center stage. Well, Stephen Cord. Former student at Peyton High School, now a senior at Carver High in Boston, has been awarded a National Merit Scholarship to Harvard University. He will enter a pre-law program. That was pretty nice of Mr. Swain. Even if he did spell Stephen with a PH.
You've always known exactly where you were going, haven't you, Stephen?
I've had to.
Did you ever have to cheat?
No. I'm not saying I haven't been tempted, but I figure I can live with failure better than the guilty conscience. You know, you made an interesting comment in that open letter you wrote. I think you said harboring guilt can only lead to the erosion of man's soul. Maybe that's what's eating at Stella. I mean, you take a brother and sister whose parents are too troubled to think about them. They really only have each other. Girl comes of age, wants out. The brother's left. Very much alone. There's no one for him to turn to. He feels he's been rejected. Tries striking back at the whole world. Gets in trouble with the law.
And everybody rejects him.
Right. Then he meets a girl who in some ways reminds him of his sister. And the same pattern repeats itself. He's rejected again. But this time there's a target.
The Harringtons. The big brother throws a Sunday punch and it backfires. And the sister has already had her own share of rejection. She knows how painful it can be. She feels she's left her brother down. She feels responsible for his death. She has to get rid of this feeling, and the only way she can do it is by striking back in his name.
Exactly.
That's very logical and very neat. Doesn't it seem a little too neat? I mean, it sounds a little like Zola. How do they say it? The environmental theory of personality?
Anything wrong with that? His novels are still a pretty good laboratory for understanding society.
You're right, but don't you think he cheated a little? You know, rigged the facts just to confirm his own theories. And the novel, even though it's based on fact, the novel, by definition, is more orderly than real life. Real life is, well, it's like this office. It's untidy. There's always that rough edge, that irrational element.
But background has to be a factor.
I see you're forgetting something. Stella Chernak. She overcame her background. She's got a successful professional career. You see, your theory would hold water if she had nothing to lose. But she's risking everything that she fought so hard to achieve. She's even risking prison.
You were in the hospital parking lot this afternoon.
Yes.
Would you say that Rodney was harassing Stella?
Well, I came in on the end. I really couldn't say.
Well, he was. Now, an honest witness with nothing to hide goes to the police when he's harassed, doesn't he?
I expect so.
Let's see what Stella does.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
You never really trusted anybody.
I can't change. Perhaps we'd both be better off if we accept that.
Oh, come on, Stephen. I know you better than that. Mr. Dow deserved to be deceived.
He's not a criminal lawyer.
He's not an ambitious man.
Don't ask me to explain.
Get out. When I come back, I want you out of here.